talk about what your expectations are as an offensive line group Saturday night?
I think we're just going to come out, be physical, really establish, a good run game, and then be solid in pass protection. It's going to be great to get out there and go up against an opponent other than ourselves. So we're pretty excited about that. Put in a lot of work this off season, and just excited to strap it on for real and get ready Saturday night.
For you, after sitting out last year as a redshirt, how exciting is it for you to get ready to play in your first game?
Oh, it's definitely exciting. I've been preparing for it. Last year I traveled for all the games, so I kind of got to see what it was like. But I'm definitely excited to have the opportunity to start the first game. So it's going to be great.
So obviously you redshirted last year, but how confident are you in the offense as a whole after taking a year off from Gus Malzahn's scheme and way of play?
Oh, I'm very confident. Coach Malzahn, he's a very detailed coach. He notices things that most coaches don't even see. He sees them, and he'll point that right out to you. He's been working with us and trying to get this offensive unit to gel all fall and all spring, and it's been coming together pretty nicely last couple practices.
Talk about gelling offensive line. Has there been a five that has gelled? Have you guys got that set five yet?
We've been working, different guys in there, just trying to see what gives us the best opportunity, and we'll be fine with whatever coach comes up with. And the biggest thing is we just want to win, as an offensive line here at Auburn. And regardless of who's on the field, we've got talented backups, ready to go. No matter if somebody goes down to injury.
Coach has said that your big thing you had to kind of improve is your flexibility and speed. What kind of played into that over the summer?
I just say working with Coach Russell. Coach Russell definitely knows, a lot of things that help you with your body to help you become a better athlete. So I've just been working on with him with a bunch of plyos, and then obviously strength and conditioning program. And just overall working on our explosiveness as a team, a lot of cleans, a lot of snatches, stuff like that.
How different has Reese been this year, taking on more of that leadership role?
Reese has been a leader ever since I got here, but even this season, ever since spring started, he really focused in. Not a lot of nonsense with him. Even at meetings, he's locked in, doesn't even joke as much as he used to at all. He's just focused, and I think he's going to have a great season this year.
Coach Grimes had said that you really set yourself apart pretty early in fall camp. Was there anything you were doing differently or an improvement that you saw in yourself even early on that kind of established yourself a left guard early on?
Well, I just say I just try to come out every day and try to get better, and the main thing that I try to do is not try to make the same mistakes that I made the previous day. So once you make a mistake, learn from it and keep progressing forward. That's the only thing that I've tried to do. That and just not make any mental mistakes, because if you make mental mistakes, the offense can't function right. So basically, just try to improve the mental aspect of my game and really focus in, on the proper technique on every single play.
Alex, you kind of backed away a little bit from Iowa during the recruiting process because they were changing personnel, and you get to Auburn, and then they change personnel. Did you kind of shrug your shoulders at a moment there and say, "Man, I just couldn't get away from this"?
Well, that's the world of college football. It's constantly changing. I look at the same coaches that recruited me, 2 years ago now, and half of them aren't even at the same schools. College football is constantly changing. It just speaks to competition at this level.
Now, the things you're required to do as a guard in this offense is a lot different than what you had to do last year, right?
A little bit, a lot more pulling, and we run more gap schemes versus the wide zone, which we ran last year.
Do you think does that help you? Does it fit you better as a player?
I think both schemes fit me. I wouldn't say I'm one particular offensive style fits me best, but it's definitely good to learn different offensive styles, because you never know who you could be playing for one day if you make it to the NFL.
Which one's closest to what you ran in high school?
In high school, we had an offensive coordinator who really just mixed it up every year based on our personnel. So one year we were straight up veer option, then the next year we were spread offense. So I've been around different offenses throughout my career.
Alex, can you talk about your improvement? You feel like you improved a lot since you got here as a freshman, and have you improved a lot since the start of spring practice?
Oh,
What's your
definitely,
impression?
definitely. When I first got here, you know, you got to learn certain ththings about how to play at this level. You know, in high school, you're pretty much bigger and stronger than every single opponent you go up against. So there's definitely different techniques you got to use in order to block. You know, some of these 3 techniques and nose guards, you know, are as big and strong and as athletic as they are. You know, a big problem I had was not being able to stay low enough, because I'd always played so high in high school because I was strong enough to, you know, overcome that. But definitely learning to play with technique, it makes you a more sound and more fundamental football player.
Define the identity you guys established here in the offseason as you guys enter game 1 against Washington State.
Say like the identity as the team of
Yeah,
the team.
can you define what the identity is right now, and what you guys are hoping to, you know, continue to define that throughout the season?
As far as a team, I'd say the biggest thing that we're trying to be is a tough physical team, and that teams look at every week and say, you know, we got to get ready to play Auburn this week. You know, that they're tough and they're going to come strap it up against us every single play, no plays off, and they're going to execute.
What have you kind of seen out of Avery Young now that he's kind of moving inside more and
Yeah.
playing some guard?
Avery's been working a lot of spots. He's been working at guard, and he's also been working at tackle. He's really he was my roommate last year. He's a really athletic guy. He can play pretty much anything, and he's great about that, because, you know, he'll do whatever's best for the team.
What did you kind of learn about him being his roommate?
Avery's a pretty he's a pretty fun-loving guy. You know, he likes to have fun, but he's also a serious guy and a hard worker, and he's a good person overall.
How has Nick been running the huddle in practice the last 2 weeks or so since he's been in the starter?
You know, with Nick, I've been really impressed, because when he first came in, you know, a lot of JUCO players that get the spring, and he didn't have that benefit. He came in during the summer. So, you know, the first 3 weeks, you know, he has 3 weeks to learn offense, whereas the other quarterbacks, you know, had all spring. So for him to come in and do the things that he's done and really been able to step up, I've been impressed with that. And he's been getting more vocal every practice, and looking for great things for him first game.
Being on that left side, maybe between obviously Greg and Reese, you guys kind of look at that as the strength of your offensive line right now?
I think the whole offensive line is going to be a strength, but definitely Greg is a special talent. Reese is too, and I'm blessed to be able to play between 2 experienced guys like that.
You said that Malzahn sees things that other coaches don't. Give me an example.
Example of that is, like, for instance, if we were to run a zone play, and you know, most coaches would look at, you know, what's their quarterback doing, what's their running backs and receivers, you know, where are their eyes. Yeah, he'll notice what the right guard's foot placement is. Things like that. You know, a lot of coaches will just leave that up to the line coach, whereas he'll pull you aside 15 minutes later and say, hey, on that play, what were you doing? You know, he notices things like that, and that's impressive, I think, for any football player, you know, who has the opportunity to work with him.
One more? All right.
Thanks, Alex.